This man fell in love with his daughter's best friend. The reason is because his daughter and his wife look down on him. William is an ordinary middle-aged man in the eyes of others. The three of them live happily ever after. His wife is a successful real estate agent, but William has no achievements at work. William has worked in an advertising agency for 14 years. He is still an ordinary employee. He has no place in the family because of the female dominance. His daughter, Anna, is in a rebellious stage. She thinks that her father is a big failure. William knows it in his heart. Even he feels that his life is meaningless. He has long lost the passion for life. Today, when he arrived at work, he was called to the office by his new young boss. The boss told him that due to the company's poor business, the boss decided to lay off employees, and he was one of them. William was furious, but there was nothing he could do about it. In the evening, the three of them were having dinner. There are romantic candles on the table, but the candles can't hide the gap between the family. The two of them have a fight before they even say a word. Their daughter, Anna, saw it and left in anger. William realizes that he has lost his temper and tries to apologize to his daughter. This scene was discovered by the new neighbor, Jack. Jack had just moved here with his parents. His father is a retired Navy petty officer. He has a violent temper and is the authority in the house. His mother is a full-time housewife. She listens to her husband. This depressing home environment contributed to Jack's introverted and strange personality. He always liked to go around with his camera, as if it was his way of talking to the world. On this night, his wife was trying to be the perfect family figure and to show how much she cared for her daughter. She brought William along to her daughter's performance. William had no interest in the show and just wanted to watch it and leave, but he was attracted to his daughter's classmate, Lisa. She had long blonde hair. Standing in the center of the stage, she was full of energy. She danced sensuously to the music. William's eyes seemed to be only left with Lisa in the center of the stage. He was staring at the girl's soft body closely. He was caught up in his own fantasies. It was as if he saw countless flower petals flying out of the girl's body. William fell completely. After the game, the couple waited outside the door for their daughter to leave the game. When William saw his daughter walking towards them with Lisa, William's eyes were fixed on Lisa. He couldn't resist the urge to talk to her. Anna was embarrassed by her father's behavior. She interrupted the conversation. After the father left, she apologized to Lisa, but Lisa didn't care. She was proud of herself. She enjoyed the sight of men looking at her with admiration. William's undisguised admiration for her satisfied her vanity perfectly. Anna couldn't understand her at first, but when she came home at night, suddenly she found Jack hiding in the corner, filming her. She gave the camera a friendly gesture of repulsion, but when she went back to her room, she laughed secretly. In the morning when Jack's family was having breakfast, the doorbell suddenly rang. It was Mr. and Mrs. Jim, who had been married for many years. They greeted their new neighbors with their own welcome, but Jack's father didn't welcome them. He was very hostile to the gay community. He even complained on his way to take his son to school that the homosexuals were shameless. He forced his son to agree with him. Jack was obviously used to it. He simply agreed to do what his father said. That evening, his wife asked William to accompany her to a business party. Even though William didn't like the place, he went along with his wife. Apparently, he wasn't used to such gatherings. When he saw his wife chatting happily with a sales champion named John, William felt very uncomfortable. He hid in a corner and drank alone. And then suddenly he met Jack, who was a part-time waiter. Jack could see William's frustration and took him outside for a smoke. The fresh air helped William relax. The two of them got to talking. Then Jack's boss came out and scolded Jack for slacking off at work. Jack didn't just admit he was wrong. Instead, he simply quit his job. His behavior was a sight to behold for William, and admired the young man's spontaneity. After a while, William and his wife went home, but William never expected. He met Lisa, whom he had missed for a long time. The appearance of the girl once again made William start to fantasize. He even began to fantasize about kissing the girl. It wasn't until the girl called out to him that William realized he was out of line. That night, when no one was looking, quietly lay on the door of his daughter's room to eavesdrop on their conversation. He accidentally overheard Lisa discussing her body. When he realized that Lisa liked the muscular type, he quickly rushed to the basement. He found his long and used fitness equipment and started working out. And this scene, Jack, who was videotaping in the building across the street, saw it all. While he was engrossed in the video, his father suddenly came over and asked for a urine sample. It turned out that Jack had a history of drug abuse, and his father, a former soldier, would never allow his son to do such a thing, so he tested his urine every 6 months. I didn't realize that Jack had learned his lesson over the years. He'd bought clean samples for his tests. Ever since that night, when William found out about the girl's preferences, he was a different man. He stopped being a loser and started working out. He no longer tolerated his wife's criticisms. That day, he bought a drug from Jack. He went home and smoked cigarettes while lifting weights. When his wife found out, he didn't hide from her. He refuted his wife's rebuke. Then he went to the office and scolded his boss. He quit his longtime job in style. He also extorted a year's salary from the company. And just when he was getting his kicks, his wife and John's marriage began to crumble, and a marriage that was starting to fall apart. And the seeds of love began to grow for his daughter in the face of Jack's strong feelings. Jack took Anna back to his house that day. He took her to see a movie he had made. Anna asked him why he liked to film people. He said that when he filmed, he was like God, gazing at everything. He saw something in it that he longed for. He thought there was a life behind everything, and it's the power of compassion passion that blows him away. He said there was so much beauty in the world that he had never seen before. The boy couldn't help but moisten his eyes as he spoke. The girl couldn't help but be touched. She kissed the boy. At night, the family sat down for dinner. When his wife found out that William had quit his job, she was furious. They began to fight again. This time William didn't hold back and started arguing with his wife. His wife and daughter were surprised. The fight between the couple made Anna feel irritated and miserable. She hid in her room. After a moment's thought, she realized that Jack was probably filming her from across the room. She got up and went to the window. She found Jack across the street. Just as Jack spotted Anna, Jack's father burst in. He thought his son was sneaking drugs. Before Jack could explain, he beat him up. But when he realized that he had misunderstood Jack, he didn't even apologize. He warned his son and left, leaving a bloody Jack alone to treat his wounds. After William made his grievances clear to his wife, it was like a whole new life. He traded in his old car and bought his favorite toys. He worked out every day. He got a job in a restaurant. One day at work, he ran into his wife on a date with John. The three of them looked at each other in an awkward way. William looked angry at his wife's betrayal, but he didn't seem surprised. When he got home at night, after working out, he called Jack and asked him to bring him some more drugs. The two men's back-and-forth behavior was mistaken by Jack's father for homosexuality. When Jack came home, he still wouldn't listen to any explanations. He beat up his son first. He warned him that if he was really gay, he'd kick him out of the house. He expected his son to give in, as he always did. But Jack had had enough of his dictatorship. Jack stopped trying to explain himself. He did everything he could to provoke his father. The father saw his son's rebellion, but he was too tough to apologize. He kicked his son out of the house in tears. Heartbroken, he braved the rain and went to William's house. He saw William working out. William felt sympathy for him when he saw his sorry state. He wanted to ask him what was wrong, but he suddenly kissed William. It turned out that the reason Jack's father hated homosexuals was because he himself was gay, because he was afraid of being discovered by others. That's why he tried to cover up the truth in this way, but he was too fragile at that moment. He was devastated by the loss of his son. He was desperate to find a warm place of comfort. He thought William was gay and came to him, but William, being the tough guy he is, pushed him away. Jack's father left without saying a word. Anna was in the room, arguing with Lisa. Anna couldn't stand the way her best friend was flirting with her father. But then Jack arrived. He told Anna he was leaving tonight. He asked her if she wanted to go with him. Anna said yes without thinking. Lisa tried to stop her. She was scolded by Jack. Jack said she was ugly and disgusting. Lisa cried and ran out of the room. She ran into William, who had just returned from the gym. Maybe Lisa wanted to prove her charm. She accepted William, who had always been interested in her. But just when they were about to take the next step, Lisa cried. It turned out that although she appeared to be a womanizer, she had never had sex with anyone. William did not expect things to be like this. The poor girl in front of him made his heart soft. He put a blanket on her and went to the kitchen to prepare a snack for her. His wife was sitting in the car with a pistol, cheering herself up. She seems to have made up her mind. Lisa was able to talk to William as if she were an elder. William realized that his daughter had a boyfriend. This was something her daughter had never mentioned to her. William smiled when he realized that his daughter was happy now. He picked up the family photo and looked at the family's harmony and joy. At that moment, a pistol was silently aimed at the back of William's head. The gunshot rang out. William's life ended in the rainy night. After hearing the gunshot, daughter, Jack and Lisa rushed to the living room. They saw William lying on the floor, and William's wife was in the check room, holding her husband's clothes and crying. Jack's father returned to his house. He closed the arms cabinet where he was missing a gun. In the absence of twists and turns and passions, each man was left with the default of his own role, like an organ in the body. Lisa's presence created a wave in William's life that hadn't been seen in decades. It rekindled his passion for life, and because of the girl, it rekindled his responsibility to his family. But before he could feel it, he was killed by an angry Jack's father. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching.